Hey guys, it's me, it's Queen Offset Haru, and thank you for joining me for another wonderful edition of Ask an Aquarius. If you haven't already, please hit the red subscribe button and smack the bell. Also, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, pass it on to somebody else who might like it too, and don't forget to drop us a positive comment in the comment section. And stick around to the end because I have two cool comments I want to read to you guys. One of them might be one of your comments. So I want to talk to you guys about something that happens a lot. I was talking about this in another video, but let's get down to business. I got a message from a guy, and he is very much in love with his Aquarius girlfriend, but she's not in love with him. So they've been seeing each other. It's been a fun relationship. It's been a cool relationship. It's been 2 years too. He said it was going on 3 years now. And apparently, I didn't get a lot of details, but apparently from what he said, he over the course of the 3 years has fallen in love with her, and she has not fallen in love with him. So recently, like about a week ago, he asked her, because he felt that she wasn't in love with him. He felt that it was just fun for her, and he told me some reasons why he felt that way. He briefly said that she doesn't introduce him to, family, friends. And he said that when he tells her that he loves her, she never really says anything. She just kind of hugs him, pats him, kisses him, or something like that, and never really says anything for or against, that she loves him too, or nothing like that. So he already had a feeling in his heart that she did not love him. So he said to me that a week ago, he came out and flat out asked her. He said to her, basically that I'm in love with you, basically, and he asked her, do you love me too? And he said that she was really quiet. This is never a good sign. If you ask somebody, do they love you, and they get quiet, is not a good sign. Because most people that love you, if you ask them that, unless they're trying to hide it for a reason or something, most of the time they'll give you an answer pretty much immediately. But she just got really quiet and didn't say anything. Very Aquarius, shut down. She shut it all down, So he said she didn't say anything. So he said, did you hear what I said? And she didn't say anything. And he said her name, and he shook her because they were sitting next to each other. He said he shook her and said, did you hear what I said? And she said, yeah, I heard what you said. But she was real, like, he said she was real, like, hesitant. Like she didn't want to say anything. So finally, he said that she told him after a couple days, it was days of him asking her about it, and they talked about it, they texted about it. Finally, she told him that she did not want to hurt his feelings, but she didn't feel in love with him. She cares about him as a person. She likes spending time with him. The whole kit and caboodle. She thinks he's a good person, the whole nine, but she's just not in love with him. So my client was hurt. He was pretty much just heartbroken. He's a Taurus. And he said that his heart told him, but he was hoping that maybe it wasn't true. Because he said that he's the kind of person who's done a lot of dating, and he's never met somebody that he really liked like this. He's met a lot of women. He's dated a lot of women, he's not a bad looking, guy, but he said he never met somebody that he clicked with. And that's why he hung in there for almost 3 years, because he felt like they had a good connection. They clicked well, they did well together, and he was hoping that maybe she was just apprehensive because she's had some bad relationships. So he was thinking, well, maybe she's just apprehensive about the bad relationships. And maybe, things will come around. But when she said that, he realized if things haven't come around in 3 years, chances aren't very high that they're going to. So he asked me, what did I think about the situation? Because, she's Aquarius, I'm Aquarius. So he's like, what do you think? And I was like, well, I think you're right. I think if she's not in love yet, or at least feeling love, like going in that direction, I don't think it's going to happen, at least not right now. This isn't where her heart and her head is. It's just not there. So he was like, do I think she'll learn to love him? And I was like, after 3 years, if she's not already, because y'all know I'm Aquarius. We feel things very deeply. We're very sensitive, and we don't fall in love easy. We don't make commitments easy. But if she doesn't feel that way about you after 3 years, the chances aren't very high, because anybody that I really loved, I at least had the feeling, and it like a spark, it just grew. She doesn't even have the spark. As he was talking to her, he said the way she was talking was like they're just friends. They're friends with benefits, but basically they're just friends. And she said she doesn't see the relationship going anywhere. She just sees them having a friendship and being friends for as long as he's open to the friendship. She doesn't want a commitment. She doesn't want to have a kid. She doesn't want, she doesn't want another level to it. She wants it to stay the way it is for as long as they're engaging in it. And I was just like, and he was like, can this change? And I was like, yeah, I mean, anything can happen. Anything's a possibility, but is it likely? No. Especially if she's at that space after 3 years and you are in love with her and she doesn't even have a spark going in that direction. I was like, anything is possible, but honestly, I wouldn't hold my breath, and I wouldn't continue being in the relationship if I was him. If I fall in love with somebody and they're not feeling me on that level, as bad as it's going to hurt me, it's going to be devastating, quite frankly, to rip apart like that. That's going to be awful. But the bottom line is that I'm going to leave it alone. I'm the kind of person that's just going to leave it alone, because at the end of the day, that shit is going to hurt you even more. Imagine if he stick around for 3 more years, and it's 6 years, 7 years, 8 years, 9 years, 10 years down the line, and they're still messing around. She's still seeing this as casual, and his heart, he's already in love. So what's going to happen to his heart over time? He's going to damage himself, because he's going to fall more and more into her as time progresses. He's not going to be able to, in most cases, just stop being in love and deal with her in a casual way that she wants to deal with him. His feelings are already there. And when you feel something for somebody, that's just, it is what it is. So I told him that I wouldn't hold my breath. I wouldn't sit around waiting for her, to fall in love with me. And I wouldn't continue in the relationship. I wouldn't even continue in a friendship, because that's going to be kidding himself. If he continues in a friendship, it's just going to be because he's psychologically, subconsciously, probably hoping that things will change, and that friendship, which they are friends now, but I mean friends without benefits. I wouldn't do that either. I would just leave her alone. I would stop seeing her. I would just tell her, I'm really in love with you, and I understand that you're not in the same space. So I'm going to back off so I don't get my feelings hurt. That's what I would do. Bottom line. And the thing about doing it that way is you don't mess up the relationship. You don't burn the bridge, because the person, they can't do anything but understand. And if that person ever realizes, like, you know what, maybe I do love him, y'all can always try again. It's not the end of the world. She can always call you in 6 months, a year, 2 years, and say, you know what, you the one that got away. I want to try this again. And if you're open to it, y'all can do that. But if you stay with her and keep getting frustrated, keep getting hurt, you're going to start getting angry, and it's going to get worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. So my recommendation to him, and to anybody, male or female, that finds themselves in this situation, is to leave it alone. And I'm not saying that that's going to be easy. I'm not saying you're just going to be like, I'm leaving this alone and just skip off. It's going to be painful. Always going to be painful. I guarantee that. But it'll be smarter and less painful than if you stick in there hoping and wishing that they change their mind, and they never do. This way, you've cut off that energy. And if they do change their mind, you can resume at a later date, but you're not hurting continuously with someone who probably isn't going to change their mind. So I would rather hurt now than hurt later. You see what I'm saying? So that was the advice that I gave him. I felt very bad for him, because I know what it feels like to really care about somebody who just doesn't see you the same way. I really loved Voldemort, but Voldemort was too much of a narcissist to care about anybody, really, much less me. I don't even know if he really, I question what he really cares about. I really do. When it comes to narcissists, I question what they care about and to what extent. Because a lot of them, I think self-hatred is the bottom line. So I'm like, I know you narcissistic. I know that you do everything for yourself to please yourself, but that doesn't say you love yourself. So I question how much narcissists can love anything, including themselves. So I loved Voldemort. God knows I did. But in the end, I had to look at the situation and be like, this is not healthy for me, and go do something better. So in this situation, you're going to have to really ask yourself those tough questions, and try not to allow yourself to get hurt any more than you already are. All right, guys, now we're going to look at some positive comments. I got one from Jonas Kagomo. Kagomo? I think that's what it is. I'm not sure. I'm sorry if I butcher your name. I'll do it the best I can with them. Jonas said, my Aquarius girlfriend hasn't introduced me to family for 3 years. I'm getting nervous. Queen Josette, after a talk, it seems I have to wait at least 2 years from now. Rest in peace to Hope. It seems that family doesn't expect her to be in any serious thing until she is independent. He left the first message about her not introducing him to family and getting nervous. And I said, well, have a talk with her, ask her. And that is what came from the talk. He asked her, and she's like, I really can't do all that, until I'm independent. So I'm okay with that. I mean, I'm okay if she doesn't want her family to know, especially if she's young, because in a lot of situations, the family wants you to get your degree or, get stable, get independent, and then talk about relationships. A lot of times I don't really mind that. But I question, because she's an Aquarius, I really do question if that's really the reason. And if I were you, I would really keep talking. Communication is going to be key here. I would keep talking to her and keep understanding her point of view. Because it could be that, her parents, some people's parents put very high expectations on them. And some of them is worse than others. you know? So she could very well be telling the truth here. But it also could be something deeper. Maybe she doesn't want to hurt your feelings and say something else. So keep the line of communication open. And if you feel like it's just that she wants to be independent first, that's fine. But keep the lines of communication open and make sure she knows that it's okay to be honest with you. Okay? And my last positive comment came from Corey Pinkney. Hey, Corey. Corey said, you get along with October the 4th Libras. Yes, I do. He said, because the number 4 represents Aquarius. I had 2 good buddies that were October 4th Libras. 2. And I never heard that 4 represents Aquarius. Maybe it does. I've just never seen that before. I'm going to Google it later. But I do see 4s a lot. A lot of times I see 444. And I've seen a lot of 4s, especially recently. So I see 4 a lot. 4 is one of my favorite numbers. So I would not be surprised if that was the case. And yes, they were both born on October the 4th. I have a thing for Libras, period. Everybody knows I love my Libras. And they were both born on the same day. I had almost 10 year or a little over 10-year relationships with both of them. And I consider both of them to be really good friends until they weren't. And, you know, as an Aquarius, whenever you have a friend and things don't, you know, the friendship doesn't continue, I often wonder to what extent were they a friend in the first place? Especially when somebody betrays me or does something to me, like in this case, I always wonder, were they a friend in the first place? Or was I overlooking, like I have a tendency to do, everything that I didn't like and was just embracing what I did like? And that's something that I have a tendency to do. All right, guys, it's time for us to get going. So I want to thank you guys for watching my video. And I ask you to please come back soon because I have a lot more to say. Also, if you would like to get a reading done, please email me and I'll give you an appointment. And all my information will be underneath this video. Okay? See you later.